Well, hello guys. Here we are today in New Madrid County, Missouri, down the bootheel. And I know that there is a lot of really cool history here in New Madrid County. I know it, and I'm so excited about finding out more than I had maybe known on the surface. So stay tuned with me. Stick with us as we go through New Madrid County, and I'll talk to you in a little bit. All right, we are in Evergreen Cemetery in New Madrid County, Missouri, and we are here for this monument right here. It says, "In memory of our Confederate heroes, 1861 to 1865. And they've got a nice little cannon here, reproduction, I would assume. Might be real, I don't know. Here for this marker. So, and a lot of the counties, they don't bother remembering those on the Confederate side, and I understand that really. But anytime somebody's fought and died for a cause, it shouldn't be forgotten. All right, we are in New Madrid County, outside of New Madrid, Missouri, at Sand Hill Cemetery. These are where the federal siege lines were, and we are here for a marker that is gone. Yeah, there's nothing there. That's where it's supposed to be. They do have some fake cannon and cannonball set up here. So I can't read for you what the siege was all about, but there it is. Well, we are in New Madrid, Missouri, doing markers in New Madrid County. And I have to tell you, there are times when I don't understand the marker. I don't understand. So I'm going to have to do some research, because this says El Camino Real, R-E-A-L, Real, New Madrid, Cape Girardeau, St. Genevieve, and St. Louis, erected by the Missouri Daughters of the American Revolution, A.D. 1915. All right, so that's all information on it. There's nothing else on the stone, nothing around the back, and I am not afraid to admit when I am confused. And I definitely will have to do some research on this. But there's the stone, and we're going to move on to the next one. We are here in New Madrid, Missouri, outside the New Madrid County Courthouse, for the marker here about President Harry S. Truman, U.S. Senator, 1935 to 1945, President of the United States, 1945 to 1953. Harry S. Truman delivered campaign speeches at the courthouse during his Senate campaigns in 1934 and 1940. The 1934 campaign was opened in southeast Missouri, and New Madrid was one of the early campaign stops. In his 1934 speech, Truman developed the themes that would later position him as a leader in the Democratic Party, championing the farmers, workers, and the New Deal policies of the Roosevelt administration. The 1940 campaign speech declared that national defense would be his priority. Truman's second Senate nomination was supported by New Madrid County prosecuting attorney J.V. Conran, who proved to be a strong ally in that very close Senate primary race. I am deeply affected that the good people of a part of Missouri most remote from my hometown did me such a singular honor, Truman said. All right, this marker is on the side of the New Madrid County Courthouse in Missouri. And it says it's commemorating Harry S. Truman, President of the United States, 1945 to 1953. Harry S. Truman spoke from these courthouse steps in 1934 and 1940 to New Madrid County citizens during his successful U.S. Senate campaigns. We are outside the New Madrid County Courthouse in New Madrid, Missouri. We're here for several markers. This is one of them. And it says it's a growing state, a shrinking county. When established in 1789, New Madrid was one of a handful of settlements in the Spanish territory west of the Mississippi River. First as a district and later as a county, the New Madrid jurisdiction extended as far south to the northern border of Louisiana and west to near present-day Kansas. Under Spanish rule, New Madrid had a post commandant but no court system. Defendants had to be taken to New Orleans for trial. As illustrated by the timeline, each new territorial organization affected the size of the New Madrid district. With Missouri statehood in 1821, there came new counties as the state population increased until New Madrid County reached its present size on February 19th, 1851. So let's look at a couple of these maps and what it actually is established on this 1939 road map. And of course this is the timeline of how the New Madrid settlement, all the new things that came along that affected the size of the county until it reached its current size. There's populations from beginning to end. And then New Madrid, this map of Missouri, there's New Madrid. And again, this is in the area we call the bootheel. All right, we are New Madrid County Courthouse, New Madrid, Missouri. This is all about this courthouse. It's a really nice, pretty courthouse. There is a lot of reading on here. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to read this beginning part, and then I'll get the other so you can pause and read it if you would like. Sketched in 1871 by A.R. Waud of Harper's Weekly, this drawing is the only known full sketch of the 1854 courthouse. That would be there. Built at a cost of $2,750 under the supervision of T.J.O. Morrison, the wooden frame building was 45 by 60 feet, which was 2,700 square feet, which, wasn't bad. It had a central courtroom, an array of offices on either end, a front porch, and a side entrance on the north side. Due to the encroachment of the Mississippi River on the town, the building was moved twice from its original location on Jefferson, which is now Main Street. In 1875, it was moved to its final location at Powell and Riley Streets. During the Siege of New Madrid in March 1862, the Confederates built an artillery observation platform on the roof. Most of the records were taken to their private homes by the county officials before the military occupation and were returned when order was restored. A Union soldier reported the building to have been ransacked. Concrete vaults were added to the building in the 1880s, which was fortuitous, for the building burned to the ground on Sunday, September 24th, 1905. Few permanent records were lost, and the origin of the fire was never determined. During the period the courthouse was in use, the population of the county doubled, being 5,541 in 1850 and 11,280 in 1900. And then it talks about this courthouse, which was begun in 1915, and talks all about the cost and the population changes and some of the architecture, which is, it got the stained glass in there, and I would imagine it's beautiful. There was a dedication ceremony for the new courthouse in 1919, so it took them 4 years, which was actually pretty good. And there's the New Madrid County seal that was adopted in 1821. So again, I'm going to give you an overview. You are welcome to pause and zoom in on any area that you would like to read. All right, we are here in downtown New Madrid, Missouri, New Madrid County, to check out Higgerson School. It is a historic site. It's got some information around. It's kind of interesting how the steps go up and over the fence like that. We're actually here for that piece right over here on this concrete pole is what we're here for. So Higgerson School, established in 1930 near Higgerson Landing on land purchased from John E. Eddie Higgerson, floated from its piers in 1937, destroyed by fire in 1940, and replaced with this building. The school closed in 1967, and it was moved to this site on June 10, 1997, and dedicated as a historic site June 13, 1998. That was the marker that we were looking for. There is another marker over here. So the school rested on these pillars from 1940 until 1997. So these two pillars here, concrete pillars, is what held the school up. This says, this is in loving memory of somebody who who probably had something to do with the place getting to be a historic site. So there we go, Higgerson School, where we unfortunately don't have time today to do a tour, but it starts over here at this gift shop if you want to come and do that. I am going to lock what I opened. Here we go. And give you one more final look at the Higgerson School. All right, we are right in on the edge of New Madrid, Missouri, right on the levee where the river is. And we are here for this marker. It's called the King's Road. Now, this marker, I don't know if it'll be before or after this, don't know, but when you do watch the part that has that in it, you're going to see that I had no clue what that meant. But I did look it up between now and here, and this is a real thing. The King's Highway goes from St. Louis all the way down here into New Madrid, and it is called the King's Road, or the Spanish and El Camino Real. The Spanish government in St. Louis authorized the construction of a military road from St. Louis to New Madrid shortly after New Madrid was established as a fortified settlement by Colonel George Morgan in the spring of 1789. The Spanish were very concerned about protecting their trade and commerce interests on the Mississippi River. A land link between their northern capital at St. Louis to New Madrid, which was situated below the confluence of the Mississippi and Ohio rivers, made good military sense. Historian Lewis Houck wrote the original road followed an old Indian trail and was further guided by the necessity to skirt bogs and low-lying areas, as well as ford the many streams at their shallowest points. Once the road descended from Crowley's Ridge, it followed nearly a straight line into New Madrid. The early road was merely a bridle path, according to Houck, but as the population increased and additional settlements were established along its route, it became more distinct and defined. The road was extended south from New Madrid to present-day Caruthersville, or Little Prairie, in 1794. While commerce could move easily down the river from St. Louis, the upriver voyage against the current was much more difficult, and soon enough, heavily loaded wagons were using the road, which necessitated improvements. The Spanish required those using the road to obtain permits from the post commandants in New Madrid, Cape Girardeau, St. Genevieve, or St. Louis. Otherwise, travelers had to use the river to travel from post to post. Now, the Missouri chapter of the Daughters of American Revolution, this is the marker I had previously seen, don't know if it's on you previously for you yet, is responsible for the first historical recognition of the El Camino Real. Between 1915 and 1917, the DAR purchased and erected 9 red granite markers along the road's route at St. Louis, Kimmswick, St. Genevieve, Perryville, Cape Girardeau, Benton, Sykeston, New Madrid, and Caruthersville. During the same period, the DAR also petitioned the Missouri legislature to appropriate $5,000 to survey the original route of El Camino Real from St. Louis to Caruthersville. Unfortunately, after passing through the House, the measure died in the Senate, and the opportunity was lost for a comprehensive and accurate survey when much of the route still could have been located. The monument in New Madrid was dedicated on April 11, 1916, in a ceremony that included the state regent, Mrs. J.R. Salisbury, an invocation by the local Catholic priest, Reverend D.W. Clark, speeches by county attorneys J.S. Smalley and R.S. Rutledge, and a procession of the town's school children singing America. Originally located where the road crossed the Cotton Belt Railroad, the monument has been relocated several times over the past century, but always placed along the original route. And then this part of the Louisiana Purchase information talks about how the transfer from Spanish control to 1803 ended Spanish control of El Camino Real, and it talks about how the road continued to be used but wasn't official. So you can pause and read for more history there. I'm not going to read all of that, but that's pretty cool. And when I first started researching what the El Camino Real was, it brought up a road in Texas. I was like, well, no, that's not right. So I kept researching and found this description, and I thought this was really, really cool. So there you go. Here it talks about this being the southern terminus of the El Camino Real, Spanish military road. As we know, it was later lengthened, but this is where the Mississippi is. It stopped right here. All right, guys, we're going to be finishing up the rest of New Madrid County, Missouri in the next episode, so stay with me.